10 and 200 million. It took us nearly 10 years and $200 million to make Inside Out 2.
Made all that brand new technology and developed state-of-the-art software just to finish the movie.
All the employees we laid off.
All corners we cut.
All that just to lose to a cat.
Without it saying a single word.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill it.
Nah, you don't have to do that. Just because she's a cat and you're a mouse doesn't mean we have to resort to violence. But it is pretty funny though. You know, food chain and everything. I'll be quiet now.
Ugh. Well, it didn't do anything in the box office anyways. At least I'm still number 1.
Oh, you didn't hear?
What?
Flow is an animated film from Latvia and is the passion project of one, oh good God, I hope I'm saying this right, Gints Zilbalodis. Did I say it right? It follows a lonesome feline on a voyage with a bunch of strangers in a post-apocalyptic world. With nothing but the sails above their heads and the hair behind their backs, they need to find a way to work together in order to survive.
Okay, first of all, let me just say, I think it's a crime that nobody is talking about this movie. Hell, there aren't enough reviews about this movie.
I didn't really know this thing existed if not for the multiple awards it got nominated for. I barely heard any hype about it. Even social media wasn't really giving it much traction. So imagine how delightfully surprised I was when this independent film from Latvia managed to win an Academy Award for Best Animated Feature. Yeah, an Oscar! This cat won a friggin' Oscar! Fucking finally, this movie's getting the attention it deserves because, to be honest, guys, it's pretty good. I'm just gonna be straightforward here. Flow might just be one of the very few movies that I can genuinely say got me glued to the screen for pretty much its entire runtime. And that's because a lot of variables come to play here. The movie has no dialogue. The story is pretty much designed to keep you invested and curious at all times. The characters are surprisingly very well written and really interesting. And the pacing is just seamless as hell. It's smooth like butter. It's a slow burn, but in a good way. There was never a dull moment. And that's pretty much the overall consensus about this movie. Pretty much all critics and the general audience absolutely loved this film. So it makes a lot of people happy knowing that this tiny little indie passion project not only got recognized, but actually won. I honestly have no idea how exactly I'm going to explain this movie to you. Because the movie's weird, not gonna lie. It's really hard to explain, but trust me, if you watch the movie, you'd get exactly what I'm saying. It has a very simple premise, but I assure you, in the movie, it's way more complicated than that. The movie is very symbolic and super vague that it completely opens up to multiple layers of interpretation. So be ready to be in a constant state of, huh? For the next hour and 20 minutes. In relation to that, I truly think you're better off going into this movie blind. The entire thing is a complete fuckfest and a roller coaster ride of emotions that it's what totally makes the complete Flow experience. This movie is so vague that there are tens and hundreds of Reddit threads begging for an explanation about this movie. But luckily, this movie is not too open-ended. An interview with the director showed that the movie does stand for something and that it has an official and definitive story to tell. And that's exactly what I'm gonna try to do here. So let's just go on with it. Let's take a look at the Academy Award-winning film, Flow. So the movie starts off with, oh, hold on, sorry. I gotta get through the opening logos first. Alright, so the movie begins with, oh, it's still going? Okay then. Anyway, so the movie goes, no? It's still going? Are you fucking kidding me? It's still going, holy sh**. Anyways, after 2 minutes of logos, Jesus fucking Christ. We get to meet our main character. Okay, so, full stop. The characters don't have names. The movie doesn't have dialogue, so literally no one in this movie ever gets to say a word. They're not like Pokemon that can just yell out their names and repeat. So, in due diligence, I will voluntarily name each character according to what I feel like fits their vibe. Oh dear Lord, am I going to grow attached to them if I do that? Do I even want that? Yes! Yes, I do! We're introduced to the main character of the movie, a black cat. But obviously, we'll call her Flo. Flo turns out to be living alone in a deserted cabin that seemed to be previously owned by someone who really likes cats. No, like, really likes cats. Jesus Christ, is that a fucking giant statue? And right off the bat, you'd pretty much notice the visuals look absolutely stunning. I could say less about the character designs, but the set pieces are flat out gorgeous. It's hard to explain it, but Flo's animation style could be summarized as the word cozy for me, if that makes sense. The texture on their animation looks smooth, giving off a pretty calm and gentle vibe. It's actually fairly detailed, with each new setting they presented being luscious, rich, and vivid, adding significant depth to every scene. And don't get me started on the music. Oh my lord. Chalk the musical score as the second main character because holy shit, it's so good. Not only did it completely mesh well with the movie's vibe and aesthetics, it also provided a surprising amount of suspense for a seemingly slow-paced movie. There's this one scene where the crew pass by what seems to be an abandoned kingdom, and literally nothing happens there. Nothing. But the music, for some reason, slowly starts to build up and pick up its pace, which immediately got me panicking. Nothing. Literally, nothing happens. They just turn the corner and the music just fades away. Talk about blue balling your audience there. Good grief. The movie is also a really big fan of long one-shot takes, and give them credit, it completely makes the film 3 times better. They do a lot of these. In fact, they pretty much do it 95% of the time. It's a really cool approach to storytelling since the entire film does deal with no dialogue. So it gives a strong illusion for us, the audience, of pretty much being part of the film, as if we're really there with them. The camera moves around as if it's a character in the movie as well. And at the same time, the somewhat slow panning builds up suspense and curiosity. Pretty much the reason why you can't take your eyes off the screen. And it's not in a blink once and you'll miss it type of way, but more of a, what the fuck is happening? I need to fucking know type beat. Like this scene. Flo is near a river minding her own business when suddenly a pack of dogs storm out and start chasing her. And oh my god, yes, let's start naming them. Alright, so this one's Billy. Okay, I'm calling this one Dobby. We'll call this one Firefox because, you know, he looks like the logo Firefox, you know, the browser. Oh, I'll call you Coffee. And this one? Yeah, let's call you Tiny. Gosh, I sure do hope none of you guys are gonna be a pain in the ass later in the movie. Anyways, as I was saying, the camera work in this scene alone kinda just proves how the long takes and slow pans not only help with telling the story, but also in keeping us invested. The camera following the fish flop towards Flo to show her hiding by a bush, implying that she's non-confrontational, is excellent subtle character building. Same thing when it quickly pans back to Billy being completely unbothered by her, establishing that he's not a threat. And just like that, the movie pretty much gave us a lot of information now. We learned something about Flo, we get introduced to new characters, we get to learn something about Billy, and then we immediately cast doubt in trusting the other dogs. This all happens in one simple take. And all it took was around 20 seconds. It's a pretty quick scene and they could have done it with cuts, but presenting the whole thing in one take makes it feel more natural, as if you're really there with them. And the movie does these types of subtle character building across the entire runtime, which I love. Well, anyways, Flo manages to lose the dogs, but suddenly, pretty much out of nowhere, a flood comes rushing down. And deadass, this flood is no joke. Like, that thing just came crushing down. Now, I know what you're all thinking. Where did the flood come from? Why is this happening? What caused caused it to happen? Well, lucky for you, I'll be answering all your curious minds with this little recurring segment I like to call I Have No Idea, and the movie never explains. Yeah, the flood never really gets explained. It's one of those things that were left completely open for interpretation. A lot of theories and speculations can be seen across the internet about it, and most of them is a good read. Like this one. One of the more popular theories is that it's the very same flood that happens in Noah's Ark in the Bible. Which is a pretty interesting take, but I personally think doesn't make sense. Hear me out. The movie pretty much establishes that humans used to exist, but are pretty much gone and completely got wiped off the face of the earth. So basically, humans are no longer around at this point, which kinda contradicts the whole point of the flood in Noah's Ark. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Another interesting theory is that there's a boat you see Billy and the pack of dogs use, which can be found on top of a tree earlier in the movie, which a lot of people suggest that the flood might be a recurring thing in this universe. And I don't think that's the case. Simply because during the flood rising, you can see a bunch of stuff in Flo's cabin get swept away. And if the flood was a recurring thing, then those things would have been swept away a long time ago. So, that theory is busted. Again, it's one of those things left wide open for interpretation. Even the director chimed in and pretty much gave an official statement about the flood, saying that since the main character's a cat, and cats are known to be loners, plus they hate water, then the flood is a symbolism of fear and anxiety slowly consuming them. And yeah, that makes sense. That actually makes much more sense out of everything that I've read. I do not know how we did not get to that conclusion, but here we are. Moving on, we get to meet this guy. During the flood, Flo sadly had to leave her little cabin behind because the water was rising at a rapid rate. She'd find herself stranded somewhere with time running out. But luckily, a boat that's manned by a capybara, we'll call him the captain, swoops in and saves our little Flo. And at this point, basically the whole movie is pretty much a chill, lazy river ride from point A to point B. And C. And D. And E? Where the hell are we going? Hey, here's a cool detail. Since the movie is dealing with no dialogue, look at how the movie subtly glances at this tall, odd, tower-like structure multiple times. Notice that? Yeah, well, that's the movie telling you where they're going. Why are they going there? What are they trying to do? Does this mean the crew know how to stop the flood? Well, congratulations! I have no idea, and the movie never explains. Speaking of the crew, let's go and meet them now. During the voyage, Flo would encounter different kinds of animals that will eventually board the ship. First, we have a lemur. We'll call him King Julian. Duh.
I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. Yeah, I like to move it. I like to move it, move it.
Next, we get to reunite with Billy, and the crew is joined by an injured secretary bird. We'll name her Mari. Something to know about Mari was that she was abandoned and casted away by her flock because she chose to defend and take care of Flo. Side note, she defended Flo because the leader of her group for some reason really wanted to kill a cat. Yeah, that scene was rough, but pretty fucking epic though. The dude was all like, hey yo, fuck this cat. And Mari was all like,
Nah, bro, that's my boy.
and he was like, I don't give a shit about your boy. And Mari was like,
I'ma fuck you up.
and he was like, I'ma fuck you up.
Ah, he fucked me up.
Yeah, but honestly, I don't know what the fuck his problem was. But we don't get to see him again anyway, so good riddance, I guess. Dick. Oh, and then there's this weird tentacled whale that follows them around, which I'm 99% sure is a big old symbolism for something. I honestly have no clue what the whale's supposed to mean. Fuck it. I don't even know why I'm calling it a whale when clearly it's not. But in context, it's pretty much just there when needed. And factoring in what the director has told us, we can safely assume that these animals basically symbolize something. Personally, I think it symbolizes the different types of people you'll meet and the different types of personalities they'll have. And the boat simply represents the situation they're currently in. You know, hence the phrase, we're all on the same boat. Now, I know what you're wondering. What exactly is the whole point in this? Well, pretty much the movie's whole point here is to follow along Flo as she slowly starts to ease up and starts working together with with the other animals. And to be fair, the movie does a really good job showing her character development in a very subtle and natural way. It starts off with her lowering her walls for a second and starts playing around like a regular cat. Then she overcomes her fear of water and actually starts swimming. Then she even starts to hunt for food now. She even starts giving a shit about the other animals, even to a point in sharing her freshly caught haul with Billy. It's a good natural progression on how Flo is slowly getting comfortable being around other people and working with them as a community. Going back to the movie, the crew stumble across the pack of dogs Billy was with earlier stranded on a bell tower. Hold on, wait. So how'd they get there? Weren't they on a boat? In fact, how come Billy was stuck in a completely different island? Did they push him off? Where's their boat? Where are they going? How did they end up in a bell tower? Oh, wait a minute. That's right. You guessed it. I have no idea, and the movie never explains. Both the captain and Billy urges Mari to slow down and rescue the dogs and help them board the ship, but she strongly refuses. Flo would step in, and surprisingly, she'd plead the same. And I guess this catches Mari off guard because this just leads to her letting go of the controls, and now she seems pissed at Flo for, I guess, not siding with her. But to be fair, Mari was kind of right. The 4 dogs were only in the boat for 10 seconds and everything immediately went to shit. No! Bad dog! Bad! No! No sequel for you. So at this point, the crew finally reached the structure that the movie has been teasing us the entire time. Mari jumps ship and Flo is not far behind. And, well, take a look at this. Yeah, so at this point, the movie kind of gets a bit too comfortable being weird and vague. The whole ascension to heaven thing pretty much comes out of nowhere and completely caught me off guard. Mari and Flo get beamed up by heaven, but for some reason Mari gets to ascend, but Flo doesn't. And just like that, she's gone. Mari vanishes in thin air. And huh? What just happened? I mean, with how the movie's going, this shouldn't really be far-fetched, but my issue here is that nothing really led up to this scene. It kinda just happens. Was Mari Jesus the entire time? Where the hell did she even go? Bro, this whole sequence just comes out of nowhere and completely blindsides you. I mean, it even, dare I say it, felt kinda out of place. And that's pretty much the only issue I have with this movie. As I said, the film kind of gets a bit too comfortable being vague and confusing. I mean, don't get me wrong, at the start it was a bit intriguing. The mystery and vagueness really pulled you into the story. I admired the movie for giving the viewer opportunities to piece together clues, hints, and story beats that were scattered across the film. But at some point, you gotta give us something that'll help us be on the same page so we can keep up with the story you're trying to tell. I mean, this scene alone felt like you giving us a jigsaw puzzle without the box art. Sure, it'll be fun trying to figure it out, but we don't really get to enjoy it if you don't give us the overall image on what it's supposed to look like. I'm 100% sure I kinda missed the point in the scene, and I probably overlooked something, but I honestly have no idea where this came from. So, if you can help me with this, please do. Well, anyways, after the little sacrifice Mari did, the water starts receding, Flo reunites with the crew, we almost lost the captain. Fuck you, other dogs! Oh, and remember that whale that we were talking about? Yeah, well, he's dead. So, take that as you will. The crew gather around the puddle and look at their own reflection, and credits roll. The end. You know, I still have no idea what I just watched. But that was still straight fire, though. The fact that almost everybody has a different idea of what the movie was actually about and everyone has their own interpretation speaks volumes on how good and thought-provoking this movie really is. It's a really really good movie. Would I rewatch it anytime soon? Honestly, that's the thing. I don't think I'd willingly sit down and put this on and let it be my movie of the night. I honestly see it as a good one and done type of experience. I mean, would I recommend it? Absolutely. Would I rewatch it with a friend? Yeah, sure, but I think I'd only be doing it just to watch my friend's reaction. The movie's a gem, but I can totally understand if some people end up not liking it as much. The pacing is a slow burn, and some viewers do see that as a turnoff. And there is a thing of being too vague, and I personally think the movie suffers from that. Like, I get giving the viewer the ability to come up with their own conclusions, but flow kinda gets a bit too ahead of itself and pretty much splits the audience. Either they overanalyze it as intended, or just completely blank out and not give a shit. Also, it's definitely not made for kids either, and even if it was, it sure is not for this generation. I was intrigued and I was invested. The visuals are nice, the musical score is great, and overall, the entire experience was unique and special. The movie is really good, I loved it, but I completely get it if you didn't. If you feel like watching a soothing, slow-paced, somewhat weird flick, then I suggest to go ahead and give this one a shot. It's a fun time. In the right mood. Go ahead and check it out, but just keep in mind to always go with the flow and live life to the fullest, because at the end of the day, we're all on the same boat. 9 out of 10. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed your stay. Have a great day and a great life, and I'll see you all next time. Bye! Hey guys, post-edit Beanie here. I just wanted to say thank you guys for watching the video. If you made it this far, then wow, you're pretty awesome. And if you liked the video, go ahead and click the like button down below. And you know, you can share it with your friends if you want. I mean, you don't really have to share it with your friends, but I mean, if you have the free time and you want to share the video, I mean, you can just go ahead and click the share button and just share it with your friends. Anyway, so a couple of things I've been uploading on my second channel. You guys can go check it out. The link is in the description, or it's probably on the screen right now. Yeah, I kind of just wanted to start uploading there more. It's a variety channel, so expect different types of videos there. Either it's still gonna be commentary of movies or some opinions and some stuff. Storytime will be part of the content there as well, so pretty much a lot of variety there. So it's more of a personal channel. Speaking of which, I am gonna be back to streaming again. So I will be going live on Twitch pretty soon. I'm gonna be doing some gameplays, which will be translated into my second channel videos. I kind of want to venture off to some stuff like this. So hopefully you guys can support me there as well. The game that is set and planned so far is the Life is Strange franchise, since that is a much more easier game and storyline to talk about. But anyways, that's about it for me. I've been talking forever. I'm gonna go to bed. See you guys later. Thank you guys for watching again. Have a great day and a great life, and I'll see you all again next time. Bye.